Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the AGS TV channel, not for an Aston Villa stream. Today we're doing Sheffield Wednesday versus Southampton. Not many times on this channel we have ventured into other teams, even international games. I've done a little bit. We did England Euros not too long ago. And today we're doing Southampton versus Sheffield Wednesday. Two sides who were two divisions apart last season. Sheffield Wednesday barely, but they did it, barely got promoted into the Championship. They looked dead and buried when they lost 4-0 to Peterborough United. Clawed it back, winning 5-1 in the reverse fixture. Incredible game, I watched it. And then they won on penalties against Coventry. Coventry lost to Luton. Never ignore that. They won. Who did they beat in the final? I genuinely can't remember, but they... well, that's not a great start to this stream. I just remember there was a lot of penalties. Even Stockport County lost some penalties. And Newport County got promoted on penalties. There were just a lot of penalties in the playoffs last year, so do bear with me. But yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, Southampton. Southampton were very poor last year. I covered the games that we played. Home and away, and it was fairly simple. It wasn't too difficult for Villa in the end. Southampton, I think the only time Southampton looked half decent was when they played Arsenal. In the two games they played against Arsenal, they didn't lose a single one of them. And yeah, it's funny how football works, you know. I'm just going to get a screenshot of the lineup. I've had to wait ages for this, by the way, so I do apologise. Give me a second. Very interesting lineup for Sheffield Wednesday. I'd love to see if they stick with this formation for the rest of the season. It might not be as easy as they possibly think. And I'll show you what I mean in a quick second. I just need to upload it on the overlays. As you may notice, it's a slightly different overlay than usual. I didn't want it to seem, you know, just like copy and paste, you know, replace Villa with something simple. I wanted to actually have like the proper EFL color palette. I'm not overly a fan of that. I might just have it over here for now and enlarge the screen and just be over here maybe as I look at it. I don't like the size of it. Anyway, I'm gonna read my chat. Think Saints will win this 2-1, says the Bouncing Off the Ropes podcast. Villa gonna be on the top 6 next season. Would love to see that. Let's see what the future holds. It's going to be a tough one this year. I think, you know, with Unai Emery, with how bad Gerrard was, Emery, you know, could have been as good as good as he wanted, really. How do you describe it? The floor was so bad, like, we could have lost half our games and more as long as we stayed in the Premier League. We started so bad with Gerrard that we just all wanted to stop the rot and stay in the Premier League. But Unai Emery went above and beyond. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. I see you lose Stevenage in the cup. We did. That was with a second string side. Still no excuse. But yeah, we did lose to them. I'm going to just have a look at this lineup here. So in goal, Cameron. Wow, what a side! What a side! A back three in the Championship. Dawson in goal. Dawson's a good keeper, to be fair. But I wonder if that will be like more of a back five, because they say back three, but it never truly is. You were there for that game. Well, pretty decent that. Norman Bates came in before the stream and said, really looking forward to the game. You bought me a lot yesterday. I think I put my money on Hampton this time, but this one might be tricky. Let's see. All the best for the watch along. And I appreciate that comment from you, Norman. All right. Let's have a little look then. So yeah, Cameron Dawson, he's been at Sheffield Wednesday. Or other than the 1 year he had at Exeter City, he's been at Sheffield Wednesday for a very long time. I think he was on loan to Exeter, so it's interesting to see him back in the Wednesday lineup. Iorfa, Famawea, and Ihekwe is the back line. Michael Hickway used to play for Rotherham, I think, for a few years. Barry Bannon still in the side. You know, I'm a massive Villa fan. Barry Bannon was influential for Aston Villa during the Paul Lambert era. Not not an amazing player, but did the basics very well. I remember him being very short. That's all I will say. This man doesn't take a day off. You know, well, you say that. I do. I did miss, actually, Villa versus Brentford and Villa Warsaw. So I could have done even more. Wisp says Sheffield Wednesday relegation. I'll be there. Obviously, Wisp is a Derby County fan, if you can't tell by the profile picture. Interesting to see. How well do you think Derby will do? I know there may be some bias coming in, but I'm intrigued. Anyway, that is the lineup. I don't know how. See, if I make this smaller, you guys aren't going to see it very well. So I don't know what I'm going to do about this. I should have really thought about this earlier, because that's the best I can do, and that's not great at all, really. But let's see. You're going to your opener tomorrow. I hope you have fun with that. I'm not saying anything until after the first game. You know what? That's fair, because it's very easy to say anything about any team until you see the first game or the first few games. I usually give my proper take on a team after usually 5 games. I think 5 is, the normal amount. Because you could just have one bad game at the start and then you do well. Man United lost their first 2 games of the season last year and ended up in the top 4. So who knows? How you doing? J3 says hello. AJ. Also, the Villa player says bro's acting like he doesn't watch Villa every week. By the way, guys, I am live for Aston Villa versus Valencia tomorrow. So technically, for 3 days, I won't have a day off. I also need to, after this, oh my god, so my schedule is so busy, right? But after this, I've got to do a Villa video that I'm going to do tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to a non-league game, and I'm like 70-30 going to do like a vlog for that. So I think it'll be very interesting. There should be like 2,500 people there. And then in the evening, I've got Aston Villa versus Valencia. So tomorrow's going to be busy. Today's going to be busy. And it's all football related, and I'm going to have fun. Yeah, if we bum Wigan, then my hopes are up, says Wisp. I'm very excited. What I will say, and I should have said this about Derby as soon as you came in, losing David McGoldrick is massive. McGoldrick scored a lot of goals. I think it was over 20 for Derby. I can have a classified check. But it was a lot of goals. It was a lot of goals. And to lose someone like that is, that's a big hit. I don't know, man. He scored 22 goals for Derby County last year. You can't really lose that. McGoldrick belongs in the Prem. Wow. Yeah, how mad is it that he's gone, right? To who? To Notts County? In League 2? That's an insane signing. Absolutely insane signing. I can't wait. I want to see Notts County back in League 1. Back towards where, the upper echelon of the football pyramid. Would love to see Notts County in the Championship in a few years. The first professional football team. They deserve a lot of respect. I was so happy. I watched all their playoff games and the final. They should have got promoted automatically. The points they got was ridiculous. McGoldrick and Waghorn should come to the MLS. Do you guys think McGoldrick would rip it up in the MLS? The standard isn't amazing there. And he's a good player. I know it's League 1, right? League 1 is probably below the MLS. But I think he'd get like 10, 15 goals. I think he'd do well. Real football begins on next Friday. I may do Man City Burnley. But I just feel like it might be a very boring game. I'm very tempted to cover that game though. Because it is the first game back in the Premier League. You never know. Burnley could do a surprise story and win. Who knows? Football's a magical game. Newly promoted sides love to have a shock. So I may cover Man City Burnley on this channel. So just watch this space, basically. I didn't think I'd be doing Sheffield Wednesday versus Southampton, but this is a game a lot of people are going to watch because, you know, Southampton were Premier League, have been for a while. Sheffield Wednesday, massive club. Hillsborough, very famous ground. This is probably one of the best starts to a championship game you could want for entertainment. Don't watch Chelsea, please. We're losing 7-0. That's a game I'm definitely doing. Chelsea versus Liverpool. I mean, it's going to be a 0-0. Like, you lot love draws. And whenever I pick a game for entertainment, it never turns out to be entertaining. That is just my luck, unfortunately. No one Kunku. Oh, that's rough. That is very rough. You guys need to start. I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, right? You guys desperately need to start well. Because if you don't, you know, that mentality is very hard to break out of. You had such a bad season last year. You got to start strong. I feel like if you get battered, it's going to be difficult. We are underway in the EFL. I wonder what this scoreline is going to be. I'm very excited. Just give me 1 second. I need to turn off the timer. There we go. It is Sheffield Wednesday versus Southampton. We are live at Hillsborough. Both sides wearing their home kit. I got to say, before I go into any football today, Southampton's home kit is absolutely disgustingly vile and I hate it. I cannot stand it. It is disgusting. So I just want to get that out of the way with as soon as I can. That is a vile kit. And I'm hoping I won't have to see that kit too much this season. It looks like a Burger King kit, man. It's disgusting. Sterling is 100% starting next week. We aren't scoring. Why? Okay, so Raheem Sterling, right? Why has it gone so badly? I don't understand. That's one of the few things I don't understand. Because look, you can expect him to fall off a little bit, but he has fell off a cliff. He's gone from being one of the best England players in the Euros to can't even get a game for Chelsea. Can't even grab a goal contribution to save his life. He looks so out of it. It's crazy. And Norman asks the question, do I have an eye on the Kane transfer tonight? I will have my sources available. By sources, I mean probably chat. Maybe Harry. Harry's like my own Fabrizio Romano. He gets the news before most people. So we'll see. I'd love to see Kane in the Bundesliga, by the way. That's my 2 cents. It'll be great for English football because we don't have many players in other leagues. You know, Spain used to do well in like the 2010s because they had a lot of players all over the shop. A lot of top players playing in a lot of top leagues. And they get insight. English players play in England. What insight do we have on the Italian game? At most, we have Tomori, who doesn't even play. Tammy Abraham doesn't even play. So, like, we had Sancho, who's been bought to England and has done terribly. So, yeah, I'd love to see Kane in the Bundesliga, personally. And he'd suit that league as well. I really do think that. Jan Bednarek, by the way, is starting for Southampton. I'll go through the lineup of Southampton because I only covered Sheffield Wednesday. Southampton, obviously, I'll know more because they're Premier League. Bazunu in goal, the Irish National League goalkeeper. Walker-Peters, Stevens, Jan Bednarek, and Manning is their back four. Alcaraz, William Smallbone. I don't recognise that name. I will say that. William Smallbone, James Ward-Prowse, still a Southampton player in their midfield. Edozie, Adam Armstrong, and Nathan Teller is their front line. Teller played for Burnley last year and did very well, so I think that was a very good signing for Southampton. Very good. Sorry, not signing, but to keep him is what I meant. Because like you score that amount of goals that you get interest from the Premier League, so to still keep him is quite impressive. Smallbone put in a good performance against Villa last season, or two ago. I think I briefly remember. We always, every now and then, there's just one random Don who does really well against us, and he doesn't perform for the rest of the year. It's very strange, but it does happen with us a lot. I'm just going to get the lineups of teams on my phone so I get to see what's going on. Lee Gregory up front, by the way, for Sheffield Wednesday is so interesting. Cross comes in towards Gregory, by the way, and he's still going to keep it. Barry Bannon shot is wide. Sheffield Wednesday screaming for a penalty. I don't think it's going to be given. They still keep it. Another block in. And the third shot. Is that going to be deflected for a corner? Sheffield Wednesday fans screaming for a penalty, which they're never going to get. But out of nowhere, Southampton defensively carved to pieces. Midfield, absolute paper. Early cross in towards Lee Gregory. Half cleared by Jan Bednarek. Barry Bannon's shot is terrible, but the clearance is even worse. And then, I've seen softer penalties given, to be honest. It was the number 11, Josh Windass, who went down. And obviously, there was a massive scream from the Sheffield Wednesday faithful, but the referee wasn't moved. Wait, Nkunku is out for how long? I just put in the FPL. I do need to sort my FPL out, and I do actually want to properly play it. I always give up, and I need to just put a reminder on my phone every time, because I always end up giving up. Smallbone put in a good performance against Villa last season. Oh no, I read that before, didn't I? And Harry asked, "How's no one bought Ward-Prowse?" No idea. Possibly because Southampton's expenses are ridiculous. They want ridiculous money. I remember Villa wanted Ward-Prowse a few years ago, and they wanted 60 million. I know they're not going to ask for that this time, but it still might be ridiculous for a championship player. So I'm not surprised. They're very similar to how Crystal Palace dealt with Wilfried Zaha for many years. They refused to sell under their value for him. And I like Ward-Prowse, but they need money. I think if they want to have a proper fight for the championship, I think selling him would have been the better idea. But who knows? They could get promoted and prove me wrong. But I think they've missed an opportunity there. It's coming. We've only got a month to go. They've still got time, but if you could get 30 million for Ward-Prowse, you can invest that very easily. Championship players are quite cheap. I think it would have been a good idea. But that is that's my 2 cents. Corner kick to Southampton. Ward-Prowse is going to take it. Probably every set piece he's going to take for Southampton. He might score a lot of goals. I know his free kicks, even in the Premier League, were very good. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ward-Prowse carried on. He is their penalty taker too. Corner comes in. It's headed away. It's a bit of a scramble. Good clearance. Lovely ball into the box towards James Ward-Prowse. A daisy. Ward-Prowse tries to square it, but it's well intercepted. Backinson, the holding midfielder. So Sheffield Wednesday, Flash Score thought they were going to play at a back three in a 3-5-2 formation. It has been, refined as a 4-2-3-1 now. I did think a back five or a back three would have been very ambitious, I'd say, for your first season back in the championship. So I'm not surprised to see a back four. Shot comes in. Oh, what a goal! What a goal out of nowhere! Southampton take the lead with an incredible strike from distance, and it's that man again, Nathan Tella, who I spoke about not that long ago. He did so well for Burnley last year. Back at Southampton in the championship, and a lovely strike into the corner. Sheffield Wednesday caught napping. To start the championship with that goal's very good. Lovely layoff into Tella, and he's just outside the box. He bends it beyond the reach of Dawson. That's a stunning strike. Walker Peters, another, very much wanted fullback from Southampton, someone who's featured in the England national team. Very surprised to see him staying in the Southampton squad, and he's got his first assist of the season. Lovely layoff to Tella, vicious left-footed shot. He did that a lot for Burnley last year when they were crowned champions of the championship, and he's gonna so far he's continuing it, and he probably will do a lot more for Southampton as well. Lovely start for them. Some finish. Oh, I think it took a deflection on its way through. You got to question goalkeeping sometimes. And maybe for a finesse from there, you could argue we should save it. But I think it took a little flick on its way through. it looked a lot better, like in viewing the first time, and then the replay does show like a little deflection, which kind of takes some of the pizzazz away from the finish. But what a strike! I'm sure all the League One fans who were very anti-Wednesday last year will be enjoying this. Especially Peterborough. You're thinking Barnsley as well. I know they're very anti-Sheffield Wednesday in general. So they are very much enjoying this. That's who they beat. It was Barnsley in the final. I remember because the referee in that game was awful. Walker Peters on the byline. Left-footed cross is a good one. Good header away. Oh, that's a very dangerous cross from Walker Peters. Well, he's had an incredible game. 10 minutes in, gets the assist, and nearly gets another one with a delicious looping ball into the box. And it was Iorfa to head the ball away for Sheffield Wednesday. They look a little bit rocky at the back. You can't be allowing crosses like that. It's a dangerous ball. Your first game back in the Championship, and you're nearly 2-0 down at home. Southampton all over Sheffield Wednesday right now. It's another chance. Another block by Iorfa. Rebound. Good save, Dawson. Bloody hell. Sheffield Wednesday need to wake up. This is abysmal. James Ward-Prowse arguably should have put Southampton 2-0 up there. Cameron Dawson already committed to a dive. I think he got a little bit fortunate with the rebound. I think if the shot had any more accuracy, that probably would have been 2-0 to Southampton. I didn't like the Southampton fans singing "We Are Going Up." Wait, when were they singing that? Were they singing that at the start of today? Because if they did, that's very arrogant. Never sing that before a ball is kicked. Although maybe they're seeing something we aren't, because they've actually started this game unbelievably. Oh, after the goal. Oh, that's quite arrogant. That's a little bit arrogant. But, you know, look, they're going to have hard games, right? The Championship is never easy. I always say it's one of the hardest leagues in the world because anyone can genuinely beat anyone. Like, Villa fans have got experience with that because we were here for a few years. It's a hard league. It's a hard league. So I wouldn't gas yourself up just yet if you're a Southampton fan. But what a start. I remember our first start was against Sheffield Wednesday. If any Villa fan might remember that. It was our first game in the Championship after relegation in 2016. We lost 2-0, I think, on the day to Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough. And we were awful. We were awful from minute one. So already I'm seeing... I don't remember Villa playing like this when we were back in the Championship. So fair play to Southampton. Great start. I don't think they, even possibly dreamed of anything better, really. They're still keeping the ball. It's been like 80% of the ball to Southampton. A foul is going to be played on. It's James Ward-Prowse flicking it through to Armstrong. Clearance away by the left back, whose name escapes me. It is Famwer, apparently. Lovely ball. Armstrong tries to turn away by Iorfa. Wednesday still can't really clear this. They're just making a mess of every bit of defending they've done. It's just not been clean. They've hacked it away, sliced it away. Ricochets are going back to Southampton players. It's been very easy so far. Walker Peters, decent idea, tries to clip it into the far post. Really good clearance away by Patterson this time. But Sheffield Wednesday have got to wake up. They've got to wait. This is a horrific start for a side, back in the Championship. They're at home. They've got a pretty full ground, considering. Hillsborough's it's not a small place. It's quite hard to fill this up. But they can't even get close to Southampton right now. Here's Walker Peters. Beats one tackle. Still going. He's got Teller out wide. He finds Ward-Prowse, gets the 1-2, clips it into Ward-Prowse. Brilliant football. Cross comes in, hacked away by Iorfa. This is incredible. It's like Barcelona-esque football from Southampton. The passing's been so good. Look, it might just be Sheffield Wednesday are that bad, but this is fluid stuff from Southampton. Ward-Prowse should leave Southampton. I do agree. I will say it. I think someone like that definitely shouldn't be here. But who knows? Maybe they're only there for a year. Well, very early to say that. It's a 46 game season, but you know, they perform anywhere near this for the rest of their games and they'll be completely fine. That Southampton bench is class compared to the rest of the Championship. I'll have a look. You've got Alcaraz, the other Armstrong. Wait, no, that's actual lineup. Che Adams, Amayu, Aribo. Oh, Joe Aribo on the bench, you know. What a player to bring on. The other Armstrong, Charles, Gineppo, Lavia, Lyanco, and Alex McCarthy, the goalkeeper. What? Lavia, Aribo, and Armstrong, and Gineppo. That's 4 decent players off the bench. Ward-Prowse gets a cross in towards the far post. Another head away by Patterson. Shots deflect its way through. And Teller can't quite just reach a boot out to divert the ball past Dawson. My God. Honestly, this could be a cricket score. This genuinely, if this continues the way it is, this could be a cricket score. This is a horrific start for Sheffield Wednesday. This is like if you play an FM and you've accidentally fielded your under-18s. Like, what on earth is going on? Sky have released the stat that only 7% of the ball has been in Southampton's half. Make of that what you will. The Villa player says, I don't care if he won't fit our system. We should get James Ward-Prowse. I do agree. But we've got a lot of midfielders already. I already struggle to see who we're going to field out of John McGinn, Kamara, Douglas Luiz, and Yuri Tielemans. So add Ward-Prowse to the mix. It's who do you drop, you know? Game's over already. It feels that way. Here's Walker-Peters. He's got a man out wide with Teller, and he finds him. Teller gets the cross in. Dangerous ball. Teller's balling. Look, you said 5-0. My God. That might be extreme, and I definitely would have said that's extreme at the start of the game. But it's just been one wave. It's appalling from Sheffield Wednesday. Teller, I know he did well for Burnley. Him and Benson scored a lot of goals for Burnley last year. I'm surprised Southampton have not had any offers or accepted any offers for him because phenomenal player. Oh, you said it yesterday. I said, well, ironically, 5-0 is definitely closer than you think, mate. Because it's, you know, Sheffield Wednesday can't even get out their box right now. Nobody on our side can take any. Dougie and Digne are the only one. Well, yeah, unfortunately. He would be good for set pieces. I would say that. Digne, by the way, is apparently getting an offer from Al Hilal, so we might be down to just Douglas Luiz. Sheffield Wednesday finally break out their own half. Ball played down the right hand side. Now this is a chance. Oh, well, it would have been. Delgado tried to put a ball into the box. I think he rushed it a little bit, really. Considering they've had very few chances, just try and keep the ball a little bit. Bannon. Into him again. Cross comes in. Header away. I think it was by Jan Bednarek. Bannon gets it back for Sheffield Wednesday. Goes to the halfway line. It goes all the way back, actually, to Dawson. I don't think that was who he intended the ball to go to. But it found him anyway. You're a minute behind and you'll be back at half time. No worries, Vince. No worries, my friend. This is better from Wednesday, though. Good ball into the middle, but again, Ward-Prowse. A lovely interception. Oh, the football is insane. One touch football from Southampton. It was who was involved in that? It was it was Smallbone. Smallbone, Alcaraz, and Ward-Prowse. Between the three of them. One touch football. Ridiculous. Ward-Prowse again into Walker-Peters. Jesus Christ, man. It's just ridiculous. Barry Bannon, by the way, for the money he's on, is kind of mad. He was one of the, I think, the highest paid player in League One last year. So probably for Wednesday's expenses, it was a good job they got promoted last year. Ward-Prowse switches to play. And he finds Jack Stevens. Alcaraz out wide now. They're just trying to... It's very similar to the style of play to our Villa play a little bit. You play up from the back, you keep possession, you wait for the moment. I'd say we've gone a little bit more direct since Diaby has come in. But this does remind me of a lot of games we had last year. Like, we'd give the ball to Tyrone Mings in a very similar position to what Bednarek just got it then, just on the halfway line. And he might pick like a diagonal ball. But Southampton are very happy to keep this on the floor. It's quite a decent mid-block from Wednesday. Not everyone is back. Oh, lovely bit of dribbling. Chance for Southampton again. On the byline. Heavy touch, though. Unfortunately. Sorry, my phone just crashed a second. It was a dozy. A dozy, by the way. Looking sauce. Oh, it's just too easy. It's so easy. He skips past Patterson like he's not even there. The only thing that let him down is a little bit of a heavy touch when he got to the 6-yard box and it went out for a goal kick. That is a shame. Really good idea. Do you see that we got fined for something when Abramovich was owner? I did not. The last thing I heard in terms of finances for Chelsea was the 10 million settled fine, which, by the way, is a bit ridiculous. You lot have managed to scam like the footballing world. Out of everything you've done, to only be handed a 10 mil fine is ridiculous. Chelsea have just made a 15 million bid for an 18-year-old Santos striker. You lot are just like playing career mode. What's going on? Handing money left, right, and centre. You've just bought that Axel. What's his name? That centre back from France. I only remember his first name because it's my name. It begins with a D. I forget. But that's another like massive signing. I'll look it up. It's gonna piss me off. Disassi or something like that. Yeah, Axel Disassi or Disassi. I think it's Disassi. Disability. Autocorrect. Do be like that sometimes. Ooh, kind of a dodgy ball back to Dawson there. Just about made it through. Wednesday keeping the ball a little bit better this time. They're not rushing as much as they were. I think there's a few nerves like that. It's just really poor. They were a lot better than this last year. Like, Josh Windass is a good player. And he's lost the ball a few times now. I don't know what's going on. They are way better than this. I just think they need to settle down. Because they just look very stressed, you know? Like, these mistakes they weren't making last year. At least not this early into the season. Walker Peters, good tackle. He gets a throw in that. Did you hear AFTV saying Balogun was worth 70 mil? I don't. That channel, the opinions on there are ridiculous. You know, people on AFTV genuinely believe Ramsdale's the best keeper in the, not only in the league, but I've heard a couple say in the world, which is ridiculous. Like, the opinions are crazy. Like, Declan Rice, another, like, best DM in the world. Are they mad? Like, the Arsenal fans are, like, they need to get humbled, seriously. Shot comes in. Oof! Just past the post. Again, this paper defence from Sheffield Wednesday is embarrassing. It's so easy. Like, like, it was Alcaraz, I thought it was. It didn't even do anything special. It just shifted the ball a yard to the right, and it beat two players. Like, this is ridiculous. How are Wednesday so bad defensively? The Villa player says, I can't believe we loaned Bednarek. That signing must have been one of the worst, or one of them in history. I wouldn't say one of the worst, but it was very questionable. And when he played for Villa, he didn't exactly play very well, did he? And I remember when we first got him on loan, Southampton fans thought it was funny, and they said, "You're gonna." I remember there was a meme of like, is that you know, the M&M's advert, and it was like an angry fist, and it was like Bednarek, how dare you? And that meme was like, it's always used on the Southampton pages, and I can see why, because it always makes mistakes. I'll try and find it. It's quite it's quite funny. I think a Villa, I thought we used it once or twice. I don't think we used it that much, but it's always used on Southampton Twitter. They said that the new striker United have bought for 70 million means that. Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, well, there you go. Average Arsenal fan right there. Balogun's not terrible, but he's not Premier League standard, right? I'm just gonna say it. He's just not. Give me a sec. So, Bednarek. Just awful player. Awful player. He might not be terrible in the championship. Who knows? But I didn't rate him at Villa. I watched him for Southampton, and he's been pretty terrible. I can't find it. I will find it at some point, but I can't find it. Big up Balogun. Danny Drinkwater's worst. Oh, Drinkwater to Villa, I think is one of the worst. Never mind Drinkwater to Chelsea. Oh, Drinkwater's first game on loan at Villa, by the way, was a 6-1 defeat to Man City. And I think he had like two errors that led to a goal. It was one of the worst debuts in Premier League history, like in terms of stats. Barely completed a pass and literally gave them 2 goals. Like one of the worst players we've ever got. So thanks, Chelsea. And Ross Barkley was shit. Can we not get Chelsea players, please? Whenever Chelsea are offering a Villa a loan, we need to just say no, because it just doesn't work. Barkley turned up for the 7-2 game against Liverpool and then dipped, basically. Like, can you lot stop giving us shit players? The reason I think it's a terrible deal is because the guy never got a game, and when he played, he did nothing. He always let Mings do all the work. Fair enough. Drinkwater is as bad as his name. AC Milan are actually cooking with their transfers. Both Pulisic and Loftus-Cheek for a combined 25 mil. Loftus-Cheek isn't terrible. I just don't think he's... if you want to get into Europe, he's not your guy, right? I think Villa and Chelsea would be both above Loftus-Cheek. He might suit Syria, who knows? But I've never massively rated him. You could say he's versatile. You can kind of put him anywhere. But I don't know. Pulisic, though, for the money they paid for him, good player. Not an amazing player, but if he can create anything like the form he had in lockdown, Pulisic in lockdown was unreal. Like, you'd think it was Eden Hazard, like prime Hazard. I don't know where that came from. He just randomly decided to be a baller for 6 months and then dipped again. That Liverpool game when he ripped them to pieces, like, it's just so random. Honestly, Maguire to United is their worst signing in history, and I think it's top 5 for Premier League. Tammy Abraham loan. Oh, to be fair, I'll give you that. Abraham was probably the best loan signing we've ever had. I still to this day want Tammy Abraham at Villa. He did get us promoted as well, so you know what? Fair enough. There was one good Chelsea loan. Loftus' career was ruined by a charity match. He won us a game against Ross Barkley won us a game against Leicester, I think. I think he scored the winner. You are going back like 3 years, I think. But I think it was Leicester he scored against. Speaking of charity match, Mudryk is playing a charity match tomorrow. Scary hours. Bednarek and Ludwig Augustinsson were questionable and cringe signings we made. Augustinsson was alright. He filled in a gap that was needed, and I think that's where you leave it there, personally. He was okay. Nothing special. Not horrifically bad though. His crossing wasn't bad as well. Just need to steer clear of Sweden because, like, Olsen is awful as we all know. Augustinsson, not amazing, but apparently they both play for the Swedish national team. Just steer clear. Steer clear of Sweden. Even if, Isak's available, yeah? Just steer clear. The only thing Barkley did was score us 2 goals. Yeah, like I said, he turned up in the 7-2 and he got us a winner. That's it. Nothing else other than that. Bannon. Oh, that's a very poor pass. That should be a free kick. It is. And this is arguably Ward-Prowse territory. A dozy dribbling past players and gets another yellow card. In doing so, Gregory got booked and so did Armstrong in the last few minutes. Another foul, edge of the box. Trying to see who it was actually. Is it Patterson? Patterson's had a shite game. He's been awful. He is one of the worst. I don't want to single players out, but Callum Patterson has been abysmal. This Adozi guy is rinsing him every time. He's got past him twice, and this time he got past him a third time, and he won a foul. So technically he's been done 3 times, but Patterson wasn't having that. He had to hack him down this time. Show him his boss, Villa had some of the most obscure loan signings. That's true, Eric. We had who's that one who came in randomly in the January a couple of years ago. I can't think who it was. I think it was a guy from Spain. You take Mark, but honestly, Jed Steer on crutches, Mark Bunn, Brad Guzan, any of them. Borgia, that's it. Yeah, my guy. Ward-Prowse free kick hits the wall. Walker Peters was not there to hook the ball back into the box, unfortunately. He is here now, though. Nice takedown. He's got like this bluish hair, which is kind of nice. Armstrong loses the ball. Walker Peters gets it back. Tries to nutmeg the full. The disrespect on display here. There's been like 3 or 4 nutmeg attempts. It's ridiculous. How you doing, Jamza? What's good, bro? I've been watching, like, you've made what was one highlight video? It proper popped off. I think it was one of the preseason friendlies. And I was like, oh bloody hell, that exploded. That was it. It's the Arsenal United game. With all the reactions. I ended up watching that and I noticed like a day later it exploded. Anyone would do better than Olsen. Get Bradley Walsh in goal. He'd do better. I mean, I know I get on his back, right? But there is a reason. I want to support any player who plays for Aston Villa, right? Because I'm a Villa fan. I love this club. And anyone who puts on the shirt, they get my support. And sometimes I say things that are a joke, but he's just so painfully bad. It hurts. Yeah, once again, a daisy in the box. Getting past his defender. The crossing wasn't great. But his dribbling has just been second to none this whole game. Incredible. Free kick to Sheffield Wednesday, though. 32 minutes gone. Still 1-0 to Southampton. The goal from Teller. Left-footed shot in the top corner is the difference between the two. Eric says, nah, I'm American and watch MLS. Old Guzan is done. Yeah, what's your opinion, by the way? Because like I know I've had a lot of Americans before watch my streams, and some of them have said they started watching Villa because of like Brad Friedel. I remember one guy said he started watching Villa because it was a combination of Guzan and Eric Lehigh, randomly, because of 2 Americans in the backline. And I remember one guy said it was just like he watched Ashley Young. Like in 2010, and he was a baller. Like the Stuart Downing, Ashley Young, John Carew, like era. Bloody hell, long shot coming in for Sheffield Wednesday out of nowhere. That wasn't too far away. I think that was Backinson. going for like a 35-yarder there. Could have seen 2 unbelievable screamers. Yeah, it was as well. It was Backinson going for distance from... I mean, it's very speculative, but bloody hell. Villa player says, I don't hate Olsen, but the guy's ability in goal scary every time he gets this. It is. It is very scary. And like I said before, he knocked us out of 2 tournaments last year. Like, his mistakes were so bad. Especially the Man United game in the Carabao Cup, which they went on to win, by the way. Yeah. Horrible. Eric says, Spanish striker, yeah, it was Borja Baston, I think. Look at stuff in general, James to score half time. I'll have a quick look now. Jesus Christ. What? What's going on? Okay. Some unhinged shit is going on, I see. He's the reason we lost. Yeah, exactly. He's just awful. He's just plain awful. There's no 2 ways about it. Olsen in. Hey, doing, Jay? Jay, you'll be interested to know I'm covering Chelsea versus Liverpool next week. So we'll be seeing how you boys do in your first game back. Now, do you reckon you'll win? You know, Liverpool's a tough side. I'm intrigued to see your opinion. They're in Saudi. Is it at Anfield? If it's at Anfield. Oh no, it's at Stamford Bridge. Okay, all right, fair enough. I'm supposed to be coming back on that Sunday. Delayed it because up the Chelsea. Fair enough. Fair enough, mate. If it was at Anfield, I would say, you know, Liverpool would be hard favourites, but because you're at home, and the fact is you need to start well, I don't think you'll lose. Chelsea, Liverpool. I'm gonna be streaming it on this channel. It's at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. Yeah, it's probably gonna be like 0-0, 1-1. I think if I put like money on it, I'd say a draw. 2 decent sides. Oh, Harrison. In fact, not only Harrison, also there was another guy as well. Oh, it was Vince. My channel's just been and I think Jamza is as well. My channel's just overtaken by Chelsea fans. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't mind doing non-Villa games. Obviously, the majority of my audience is here for Aston Villa, and fair enough. But I'd like a small audience for games like this because I'd watch it anyway. I might as well watch it with an audience, you know. If I'm gonna watch a game like this in the first place, there's no harm in me having a camera here and talking to you guys. I'd literally be doing this. The only difference is I'd probably be on my chair downstairs in the living room. I'll be saying the same things, doing the same things. So there's no harm. Something I probably should have done a long time ago. I've done England games before, but obviously that was during the Euros, out of the regular football season. Jay says we're winning that easily if we play Jackson and not that David Luiz looking left back. He loves playing against us and Sterling. So you are critical of Raheem Sterling, I do remember that. Jackson, though, if he's given the number 9 shirt, worrying times are ahead. The number 9 curse is real. Like, it's kind of mad. Yeah, Cucurella and Sterling have to go. I mean, you lot must be sick of Brighton. Like, it's not even funny at this point. You lot must be sick to death of Brighton. That club have farmed you for, what was it, 65 million for Cucurella, 20 million now for their third choice goalkeeper. They are being incredibly tight over Caicedo. Like, they must be horrible to deal with. A lot of Chelsea fans are so anti anti-Brighton on Twitter. It's very funny. We made our 20 mil back yesterday because of the Livramento sell-on clause. Ah, fair enough. See, that's a bonus from Chelsea having loads of players, right? Like it's been a bit of a meme, but you lot have sent ridiculous amount of players on loan every year. But eventually, when you sell them, you make loads of money because teams come in, and because they're at the end of the day, they're Premier League players who get tons of experience abroad. Teams will come in, and you'll fight FFP with players that don't really play for you, but you've sold them. Like on paper, they play for Chelsea, but they don't really. Plus, you paid a lot for Graham Potter. Yeah, wasn't the not only you paid a lot for Potter, but then you had to pay him out when you sacked him. Yeah, 12. Yeah, I was gonna say 12 million. Like, what a horrible club Brighton are to you. What a horrible club. That is so. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. And they had the cheek as well to try and get Levi Colwill. No, didn't they try and get him on loan again? Or did I? I swear that happened. Yeah, I swear on Twitter they're so desperate to get Colwill again. Potter was a disgrace. Why didn't we just use Bruno as a manager for the rest of the season? I don't know how you went from Thomas Tuchel, who's one of the best managers in Europe, to Graham Potter to Frank Lampard. It got progressively worse. Like, how do you even manage that? It seems like self-sabotage. Like, in a few years, if Tom Bowley says he's like an Arsenal fan, and his whole idea was to dismantle Chelsea, I genuinely believe it. It's just so bizarre. I think sacking Tuchel was such a rush decision, you know. And he was going to be sacked before as well. Apparently, he didn't answer his phone, so he could have been sacked like I think a few weeks to a month before. That's ridiculous. There's no way the season would have ended as bad as what it did if he was still in charge. Not a single chance. Because he wasn't a yes man. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. He deserved a lot more than that. But yeah, now you got Pochettino. I think he'll do well, but I think it's a very tough job. And, some people already are anti-Poch because of his Tottenham days. If he doesn't start well, I feel like it won't take too much time before people start saying Poch out. So he needs to have a good start in order to get the fans on his side. Chelsea fans, because of the Roman days, you guys are quite, strict almost with not only who your manager is, but how well they perform. Teller's gone for goal again from the very same position that he scored from. He nearly scored again. They need to stop this man. Going clear at Bayern though. I mean, he won the league. Dortmund did bottle, I will say that. But he did win the league. Do you think Spurs will accept Bayern's latest bid? They should, but Daniel Levy makes absolutely no sense, so they probably won't. I don't think even Spurs fans know how... What's the hell? Southampton had a shot cleared off the line. Even Spurs fans probably have no idea. Because he's just very unpredictable. He's a horrible owner. I genuinely wouldn't wish him on my worst enemy. He's just a terrible owner who has no idea what he's doing. And he's sinking Tottenham further and further. And it's like a slow death of Tottenham as well. It's not like a quick death. It is like they've been stabbed and they're just bleeding out. And they're still bleeding out. If Spurs let go of Kane, I'm not even joking, and you can clip this, Spurs won't make top 10. As of right now, with the players they have, if Kane goes, that side is a bottom half table side. That's not even me saying anything out of ordinary. It's not me taking the piss. Spurs finished 8th last year with the second highest goal scorer. Kane got what, 29 goals in the Premier League? They ain't getting top 10. I'm telling you right now. I am telling you right. You take Kane out. You can't just remove 30 goals from a side and expect them to be where they are now. No chance. They're gonna have to. If they let him go, they're gonna have to bring in someone just as good. And even then, it's gonna be hard. Kane is almost a one-man team at times. I've seen it with Villa. I know what I'm on about. You take that out, they're gonna struggle. When Grealish left Villa, we got 100 million. We nearly got relegated. There was a time, if Dean Smith stayed, we would have. Because he lost, 5, 6 in a row? We were sinking. He had to get the sack and we steadied the ship. I think if he would have stayed, we would have gone down. Because the squad just wasn't good enough. Or at least he wasn't getting the best out of the squad. And the ship eventually was... it was settled. And we hung on. And then got better. Lost 5 or 6 in a row. Yeah, that's what I mean. Villa how bad were Chelsea standards where even Aston Villa think losing 5 in a row is unacceptable? This is what I don't get about you lot last year. That's why I do not understand at all. Potter lasted a long time too. Another free kick to Southampton, the edge of the box. They honestly, I have never seen a team struggle with one man so bad. If I'm desperate need for a winger, I'm getting a Dozy. I've seen enough. This guy, very similar to Grealish, he's been hacked down to pieces several times now. Who's my pick for the Championship title and the 3 to come up? That is a very tough question for the... considering this is the first game in. I will preface this by saying the Championship is the hardest league to predict because anyone can genuinely win any game. Personally, though, my favourite... I think Southampton will get promoted. I don't know if they'd win the league, though. I think it's hard. I think Middlesbrough will probably go up. I think they recently bought in Bradley Dack, I think. So, yeah, Southampton, Middlesbrough, those are the two. I don't think Mill, though. I think Sunderland. I really do. I think any of those 3 could win it. Ward-Prowse free kick. Good save by Dorset. It's near post, and he holds on to it as well. Leicester, I don't know, man. I think Leicester losing Maddison and Barnes. People have said that they're gonna get top 6 and they're gonna get promoted or whatever. I don't see it. I think Leicester are gonna struggle like we did. I could be wrong, but I don't see it with Leicester. I really do think they're gonna struggle. But yeah, me and Eric got 2. 2 of our guesses were correct. Well, not correct, but 2 of our guesses were the same. In Southampton and Middlesbrough. But yeah, I think Sunderland. I do like Sunderland. They're getting better every year. I thought they were quite unlucky last year. They played well against Luton. Luton ended up going up. I think if Sunderland were in that final against Coventry, I think they would have won that as well. I think they've got a good chance, got a good fan base. So yeah, those are my 3. I'm probably 100% wrong. You got to remember as well, Norwich had a bad season last year, but they usually do well in the Championship. This is their league. I'm expecting a rebound from them. They've won a lot. I've just had a look for their pre-season. They've done very well. They won a lot of games, completely unbeaten. I'd expect them to be up there. So yeah, that's my take. Lampard got us top forward transfer ban. He did well, but as soon as he was hired to sign players, it went to shit. So that shows to me he could be a coach, potentially, but he's not a manager. Like, why don't Chelsea just hire him as, part of the coaching staff, Someone who knows the game very well. Just don't let him pick the side. Just teach the player. He could probably teach players a lot. One of the best midfielders this country's ever seen. I think he could be a very good coach. But not a manager. You think... Oh, Wrexham's going up again. There you go. If you want free money, guys, put Wrexham to get promoted. There you go. There's a free money hack. I've already put my bet on. Honestly, I put a bet on for Wrexham to get promoted, I think, a week after they got promoted from the National League. It's so obvious. 4 teams go up in League 2. It's almost harder to not get promoted. I think it's very obvious that they're going to go up. Lampard was a complete bottle job. I think he loves and he cares for Chelsea, but it's just not good enough. Oh, that's simple. Yeah, 4 go up. Do you not know that? The top 3 get automatic, and the playoffs is 4th to 7th. So if you want free money, put Wrexham to get promoted. I'm telling you. You're printing free money. I'm not going to say how much I bet, but, well, I'm going to be in the money at the end of the year. I'm telling you right now. They would have to have a severe bottle to not go up. I think the odds have gotten worse as well since I put my bet on. Because people are starting to realise that it's quite easy. It's the easiest league to get promoted from. My Premier League top 6: Liverpool, City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, Newcastle, Aston Villa. I do think Villa will have a little drop off. It's the in thing now to gas up Newcastle and Aston Villa, and look, I do like it a little bit because I'm a Villa fan, but I'm realistic. I think Europe might tire us out, especially towards the end of the season. It's going to be hard. I think we'll go very far in the Conference League. We might even win it. That league, that tournament, sorry, doesn't have many good sides in it, especially now Juventus can't compete. We're going to have to play a lot of games. That takes a toll. I think we're probably going to maybe get 8th or 9th. I'm being realistic. If you offer me now, Villa get 10th and we win the Conference League, I'd snap your hand. Because we qualify for the Europa League, we win a tournament, easy. I did see the computer. So there was a computer that a supercomputer that predicted the Premier League, and this put us to get 3rd, which is crazy. Was it Newcastle to get 2nd, or was Newcastle to get 4th? I know Villa and Newcastle were very high, which it's a bit ridiculous. A little bit ridiculous, personally. I think we'll do all right. I think DRB will be very good for us, not just this year, but in the long run. And I'm happy with everything. Liverpool finishing 2nd. Come on, man, it's too early to drink. I like Liverpool though. So Liverpool usually have they have a season off every now and then, and I think last year was their little break. I think they'll be back to their best, personally. We're finishing 10th this season. That's still better. That's still better than last year. A genuine Chelsea prediction is top 8. I think top 8 is safe. I think it's some Chelsea fans genuinely think they're going to get top 4, and they might, but it's so easy to say they're going to do it. Because Chelsea historically, at least in the last 20 years, consistently getting the top 4, but it's hard now. It's the hardest it's ever been now, because Tottenham had a bad year, Brighton did well, Villa did well, Newcastle did well. You got to rely on all those teams to drop off, and you to at least match. You either got to match them or they got to drop off, and that's not that easy. My mate thinks so. I mean, well, yeah, I might as well say Villa are going to win it. Yeah, I think. I will say, and this is going to rattle Arsenal fans, I think Chelsea have as good of a chance of winning the Premier League as Arsenal. I think Arsenal. I know I'm preaching to the choir here because I know a lot of you will be anti-Arsenal. I think Arsenal are going to have a massive fall off. I promise you, I promise you Arsenal are going to have a massive fall off. I think they'll get top 6. I don't think they're going to, do a Spurs. But I don't think they're going to come close to the title. This was their one chance and they blew it. So, yeah. You never know. Like, I don't want this on record. But there is a chance Villa compete with Arsenal. Which sounds crazy. Like, this could sound crazy in 6 months' time, whatever. But I feel as genuinely Villa and Arsenal might not be too far apart next year. I'm just going to say that. Arsenal looked awful in the friendlies. I just don't think Declan Rice was the right idea. I love Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is one of the best midfielders in the world. But 100 million, really? I don't think defensive midfield was their problem last year. You look at their games, I don't think you could, if you could honestly say what their biggest problem was, I wouldn't say it was that. I personally think Arsenal need a goal scorer. You look at the biggest differences between Arsenal and Man City, and it might be easy for me to say this, but the biggest difference was Haaland, right? Haaland scored, 36 goals? Arsenal's Gabriel Jesus was injured for half the season. Nketiah was playing games. They need an out-and-out goal scorer. They've signed Kai Havertz. He's not your guy to do that. I'm sorry. They've 65, 70 million for a guy who has a similar goal scoring record to Gabriel Agbonlahor, and you want to fight for the title? Really? Like, I see right through him. I see right through Arsenal. Good side, not a title winning side. No chance. Look, I love Odegaard. They have a lot of decent players, right? But they don't have that title winning squad. It's that simple. And as for me as well, I think Ramsdale's all right, but I've never massively overrated him. And David Raya coming in, I don't think he's all right as well. But again, he's not a goalkeeper you need. If you want to win something, he's not the guy. I don't think I'm insane for saying Martinez is better than both. You're going to say I'm biased, whatever. I think Emi Martinez is better than Ramsdale. And definitely better than David Raya. I just feel like Arsenal are a soft club all round, and Declan Rice is your steal. In your team, you got no steal. That is the most spot on comment I have seen today. This Eric W. Alright, I'm going to have a look at the Arsenal. In fact, I'll even get it on screen for you guys. How about that? Let's have a nice interactive time on the screen. We'll get up their strongest squad in their friendlies, and I'll pick it to pieces. So Arsenal's record, what's it looking like? So they've played 6 friendlies. They've lost 1. They've drew 3. Arsenal just played Monaco and beat them on penalties, but that game was a draw before the penalties. Losing to Man United. If we get the lineup of that. Alright. So I'm gonna... Oh, this comes with ratings as well, which is really nice. Give me a sec. So I'm going to have it on screen for you guys. This is so easy to pick apart, in my opinion. I don't even have to say it. I think it speaks for itself. So this is the Man United game where they lost 2-0. Dear, oh dear. Tomiyasu. I've never rated Tomiyasu. I think there's been a lot of games where he's been at fault. Costing goals. Hang on, I'll just put it out of the way of me. And I'll put it down this corner. Ramsdale. People call him Camersdale for a reason. I think he's okay, but he's overhyped to shit. Saliba's good. I will say, Saliba's a good defender. I think Arsenal fell off when he got injured. Timber, we're going to have to wait and see. Big step up, though, from the Eredivisie. Also, I've missed some comments, so I'll have this on screen while I read some. Rice isn't even that good though. It's English buyer. I think he's good. I just think we overinflate how good he is because he's English. I think you're part right. Southampton had 78%, but it has been one way. It's been attack versus defence. The training drills that even I've done before. It does feel like that. Partey needs to go for them, reinvest those funds, and maybe they'd have a top EPL midfield. There's a lot of work to do. Casemiro, Rodri, that's who they're competing with. Exactly. The facts from Eric have just they're just unstoppable. They keep coming. Norman Bates says Rice is a good player, but he heavily relies on team and coach. I think under Tuchel, Rice would have been fire. That I think is a very good shout. I can't believe he rejected a move to Europe. Rice and Kane for Bayern, I don't think they would have won the league again. I mean, they win it a lot anyway, but I think it would have been a no-brainer. Don't get Caicedo, we're so finished. Alright, last thing I'll say. Right, Nketiah is still playing up front for Arsenal. I know, they're going to rotate players, whatever. Nketiah, he's just not... He's not that guy. He's just not... Look, this is probably the biggest controversial take, and I will accept if you guys say this is bollocks or whatever. I think Saka... I like Saka, but he does disappear in big games. You think about big player moments in a lot of the tough games for Arsenal. You don't really, the big moments for Arsenal. It was usually a moment from Odegaard in a big game. That type of player. I think Odegaard's Arsenal's best player as well. If you can't tell by my opinions. I think Martinelli's decent. Martinelli, even in the Liverpool game where they went 2-0 up, Martinelli played very well in that game. Saka, though, his stats against the traditional top six weren't exactly great, were they? And, missing a penalty against West Ham, that was the start of the downfall, really. Some will say it was the draw at Anfield, but, Liverpool's a tough place to go anyway, and City lost there. I personally think the West Ham result was the true start to their downfall. And Saka was at the forefront of that because he could have put them 3-1 up, missed, and then a minute later they conceded. So, yeah. A luxury player is what I say about Bukayo Saka. Someone, if you're winning games, a bit like Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling, if you're winning games comfortably, Bukayo Saka is your man. He will contribute. He will score goals. He will assist goals. He will look sublime doing so. But in the difficult games where you need someone to step up, I don't know if Bukayo Saka is that guy. Because I've not seen evidence of it so far. There's not been a tough game for Arsenal where I thought, you know what, Saka played really well today. He's played very well against lower opposition. Against sides that Arsenal were probably going to beat anyway, even if he didn't play. But yeah, I'm ripping into Arsenal. Maybe I'm wrong about these things. Look, my opinion's my opinion. I don't have a massive ego, so if I'm wrong about things, it's whatever. But that is my opinion. Anyway, have you seen how many players we bought for Strasbourg? I have not. I will have a look. They might actually get Champions League football next season. He did well and all, but the big games is just a ghost. Yep, I think that sums up Saka very well. One of their best players for the whole season, but there is a few. I'd say a quarter of the games where you play the top teams didn't get the best out of Saka. Madueke clear of the floor. He even scored against Arsenal, didn't he? I remember because he hadn't scored in ages. It was like several games without a goal, and you finally got it. And Chelsea fans were celebrating like it was a Champions League win. It was kind of funny. I'll rate you lot for that. And it was when you it was when you beat Bournemouth, and the Chelsea fans were singing "We Are Staying Up." I did find that very funny. Chelsea fan banter was quite great towards the end of last season. We dodged every 007 allegation. Yeah, even Mudryk dodged it, which was mad. I think Mudryk dodged it on the final game. Or was it Madueke dodged it on the final? I know one of them did. I think it was Mudryk. He got a goal contribution on the 7th game. And it rattled football Twitter a little bit. Mount is 2 games away from 007 by now. He's had... I will say this very quietly. But Mason Mount hasn't had the best start, has he? I make my opinion on Mount very clear. But he's not had the best of starts. Anyway, I did kind of miss a comment earlier, which I do apologise for, which was a question about the game. I think someone, who was it? Someone asked me what I thought of the game so far, because I've spoken a little bit less of this game the last 20 minutes. And it's because I've actually been enjoying the debates in the comment section. I think it was just how this game has gone. Southampton have just been all over Sheffield Wednesday. I can just keep it as simple as that statement, to be honest. Late to party while you're watching this? Why not? So, I know I'm a Villa channel. I love Aston Villa. I mean, I make it very obvious. But, you know, a lot of people, I'm going to say it, people like Mark Goldbridge, they do, you know, videos and live streams on several other teams. Why not me, you know? I would have watched this game anyway. And I'm just watching it with a camera. Why not? I'm going to be doing Villa Valencia tomorrow. It is a much smaller audience. I knew that because people only watch me for Aston Villa. I don't care because I can actually have... It's more of a conversation this way. So if anything, it's actually quite fun for games like this. But you can expect the usual for tomorrow. And I'm going to be doing probably Burnley Man City for the opening game of the Premier League. And I'll obviously be doing Villa Newcastle. That's probably going to be the biggest stream in the next 4. That's going to be massive, I think. It's on TV as well. I can't wait. I can't wait. I might even go live earlier than usual. I might go half an hour earlier than usual. Because it's obviously it's the start of the season, such a big game. But yeah, it's as simple as that when you win. Are you watching the Carabao Cup fixtures midweek? Possibly. If I see a game that I want to cover, I might cover it. Who knows? I'm glad football is back. So bored watching some of the women's game. Not been terrible. I don't mind women's football. I'm not going to say anything that will get me in trouble. I would say I'm an advocate for it. I just don't... It's not as good as the men's game. I think we all know that. I think in the future, it might get close. Right now, it isn't. So it's nice to see like some kind of promotion for the women's game, because obviously 5 years ago we didn't get this. It still has a long way to go, but you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, and England are doing well, so I'll support it. The question, it's always hard. It's, you know, it's almost hard to answer. Same with like, you can't really compare Brazil from 1970s to, I don't know, say Brazil now, right? The 1970s side would probably win. We'll never know. We'll never see a proper women's to men's comparison. I don't think we'll ever truly know. I've seen some people say they're championship level to League One level. I would say that you're not far away from. I think they'd probably beat a League One side. But you know, the more publicity they get, the better they'll do, and the more it will grow. So I will support it. I would just say it how it is. I don't. Some people say, like, they over exaggerate and say, you know, the women's sport is incredible, and you know, I'm realistic. I'll give them support, but I'm realistic. And I've missed some comments, and I do apologise. Eric says the lower leagues are cool. Follow the championship, maybe even League One, or as competitive as MLS. As an American, it's cool to follow these leagues. Fair enough, by the way. A lot of Americans, and I'll say this because I've got a lot of American people who watch me. It's so easy to just blank football entirely because, like, you've got the NFL, the Ice Hockey League, the NBA. I actually give a lot of respect for American people who support football, like football teams, because like you overlook all of that, you overlook the overwhelming negative opinion of football in your country, and you give it support. I think it's incredible almost. Harry said the England's women game was actually good. I did enjoy it. Lauren James, and I think you've mentioned it here. Lauren James is a baller. Like, she's looking very good. Her technique is very good. Very good. The volley she scored against China, top class. Should have got 4 goals. I was stunned that her goal was disallowed for offside. One of the worst decisions I've seen. Eric says the American women's team are still winning the World Cup. They've had a dodgy start. 2 draws and 1 win. They've basically crawled through. And if it wasn't for the fact that Portugal hit the post, they would have been out. But, you know, they can have this slow start and maybe they'll perform. I just think the USA women need to wake up seriously. Jamza says gets him out there, which makes his channel grow. That's why he's doing it, which is a good thing. Yeah, basically, it's like, say... Like Jamza is someone, you should check him out by the way. Jamza makes a lot of like compilations of other channels reactions. I find that quite entertaining. I watch a lot of them. It's not just you that make those videos. There's a few of the channels that do it. If he only stuck to one team, it wouldn't grow, you know? If he stuck to, oh, I'm only going to cover Man United, right? You're missing out on the Arsenal fans, the Tottenham fans, you know, expanding your brand a little bit doesn't hurt. And yeah, that's my take. Sean says, has Villa's interest in Ward Prowse gone cold? I believe so. It went cold, I think, the second they said they wanted £60 million a couple of years ago. And I think maybe a couple embers have been lit here and there, but they're very adamant on their price. It probably is a lot lower now, but they still want a little bit too much than we want to give them. I think that is my take on that. Vince says I'm a Hull City fan because I was born there and a Chelsea fan. Fair enough. Look, if giving support to local, fair enough. I watch my local non-league side sometimes. I'm even going there tomorrow, so I think it's good to have that. Non-league, you know, grassroots football. The funding isn't great, so you never know. Pop down to your local non-league game once a year. Could do them the world of good. They struggle to pay player wages sometimes, so. And the football's decent. It's not as bad as you think. It'll never get close, says Harry. You can't get as... Oh, this is about the women's football. You can't get as much passion for women's football as you do men's, so it'll never do as well. From the like entertainment, commercial side, maybe. I think the standard of football could get better. But, yeah, crowds, they may struggle. Harry says women's football will never be as good as the men's, just fact. Well, we'll never know. I mean, well, we will at some point, but I think the gap could decrease. I think they could get better. It might. I just think it'll take a long time, personally. Eric says it might take 10, 20, 30 years or a century, but I bet the women's game world round will one day be equal to the men's. I'm more inclined to believe what Eric says to what Harry says. I think it's somewhere in between. I think they will get close. I don't know if they'll ever be as good, but I think the standard will get very close. Teller goes for goal for Southampton. Sorry for anyone who's been tuning in for this just to like hear what I'm saying about the Sheffield Wednesday Southampton game. I do apologise. I have kind of been neglecting the game a little bit. So I may for the second half try and focus a bit more on the game. I've just been talking. I mean, I don't mind talking. It's fun. I get lots of questions, whatever. But yeah. Oh, I didn't even say this, by the way, and I'll quickly just put this in now. I don't know what is going on, but in the last 2 weeks, I've been recognised on multiple occasions. I have no idea why. Maybe it's just like I had one person ask me for a photo. I had a group of people in my town centre recognise me. I've had someone recognise me in a shop. What is going on? What is I have no idea what is going on. Maybe it's a small world. Who knows? Right? Maybe it just so happens that out of nowhere, this has all happened. Maybe in the past people have seen me and have been too shy to say anything. I don't know. But it's so weird. It's just happened in such a small, short period of time. It's been very bizarre. I never quite know what to say. So if you ever do see me in person, feel free to say hello. I'd like to say I am polite. And I'd even have maybe a conversation about football. Who knows? Yeah, I just wanted to say it's just been really, really weird for me. Football is a beautiful game, says Winnie Win. Any game is better than none unless it's a Sunderland game. Fair enough. I think the standard can be reduced, but I think it'll be close to men, just my opinion. Fair enough, Harry. You are more than entitled to your opinion. So, yeah. Have you done a league? I still need to do that. I'm very late on that. So that will come out hopefully in the next few days. I attempted to do it, and this may sound really silly. I recorded it, I edited it, and I deleted it because I'm like, I didn't really fully believe what I was saying. I kind of had like an opinion, and then as I was doing my video, I was changing my mind in my head about a few of the things I was saying. I'm like, I want to redo it, so I am gonna redo it, and I'll post that in the next few days. I put Luton a bit higher than I wanted to. I want Luton to do well, and I think that want overtook what genuinely will happen. Like, I think my heart overtook my head a little bit. I said Luton, I think, to get 17th or 16th. Luton to stay up, basically. And I realistically don't think that's going to happen. And I didn't want to, publish a video that says Luton to stay up, because I really don't think they will. I want them to, but I don't see it. So that's the reason why that video is so late. I basically wasted like 2.5 hours doing the video and editing it. I did waffle as well. I did a lot of waffle in that video. So yeah, I'm just going to read it. Jam just said you should get pissed out your head and do it, mate. That's what my pal did. Fair enough. I could have just released it, and then if people wanted to debate me in the comments, then whatever. But yeah, I'd rather give like my proper true opinion. I've had enough time to think about it as well. There's been enough signings come through, so it'll come through in the next few days. Eric says, actually, sorry, I missed a few comments before that. On women's football, skill wise, it's possible, but will due to biology always lack the power. I mean, the average height of a female is like, I think, 5'5", and that will play its part. Muscle skeleton is going to be smaller, which will equal to less powered shots on average. You never know. Corner kick to Sheffield Wednesday though, towards the far post. Back into the box, it's in! It's a Sheffield Wednesday equaliser! And it's Lee Gregory, I think, who stabbed the ball home from around the 6-yard box. It is a goal out of nowhere. It's been all Southampton this game, and they couldn't really deal with this corner very well at all. And it's found Gregory, he stabbed it in. I think that's Sheffield Wednesday's first clear-cut chance of the day. He's a poacher. He scores a lot of goals, this man. And he's done it again. Southampton will be very disappointed because they've completely controlled this game. It's such a nice finish. But they fail to clear the corner. It's a very nice goal. You got to defend the set pieces. You got to do the ugly stuff. And Southampton, who've played really pretty football today, failed to do the basics, which is why Sheffield Wednesday have equalised. Lee Gregory will take those all day. Very nice goal. Very, very nice goal. Southampton, I think, will be disappointed, especially with how they've played. To not be ahead in this game is ridiculous. I think it was Smallbone who was beaten in the air by Iorfa, and the ball just it ricocheted to Gregory on the 6-yard box, and he smashes it in first time. It is a poacher's goal if you've ever seen one. And I was watching that as I was reading comments, so I apologise. Harrison said next few days, Bloods wait until after Villa play change prediction. Yeah, Villa are a hard team to predict, which is what I've said. I think I put us 8th in my actual prediction video. That might still stay the same. Eric says, like here in America, the women's team gets criticised more than the men's team. There's expectations on the women's team. The media rip them. The men's side, especially with Greg Berhalter? He's an abysmal manager. You got some half decent players, but when you lot host the World Cup, the expectation probably is just to qualify from the group, and that's it. which, considering the size of the country you are, 350 million people, you probably should be a little bit more ambitious with the men's side, really. But at the same time, it's not in your top 3 sports, so I don't know how you can really measure the ambition. Harry FC says, I reckon Villa will finish 8th if Kane stays and Spurs. But if he leaves, I think 7th because we're in Europe. Yeah, that's spot on. Winnie Win says, yes, want to see a prediction so I can take the piss in the... I could do a review of my last year's one, but I don't think it went very well. Jamza said you should get pissed out of your head. And I don't know, did I read that? That's what my pal did. I mean, I decided to do my fantasy team while being very drunk. I'm sure that went very well. Look, yeah, that's another video idea, is to look back at my old one. He said it was easier because when you're drunk, you don't stop talking anyway. That is true. That is content. It will fill like any gap, I guess, because I just thought I can waffle very well. So drunk me, I'm guessing, is very good at waffle too. Yeah, and then the goal went through. The goal, yeah, it was completely against run of play. It's been all Southampton all game, and Wednesday took their one chance, and that's football, you know. That can happen. That's the championship. That pretty much sums up the championship if I've ever seen it. Like, one wave traffic from a side who play really nice football, and then the equaliser is a really ugly rebound from a set piece. Like, that is the most championship thing I've ever seen. Is Smallbone his porn name a really lousy one? Not much of a porn name. We've said this Southampton relegation, I will be there. My guy is flip-flopping. It's like that that meme where it's this guy switches up his religion every day. Earlier you said this Sheffield Wednesday downfall. Now you're saying Southampton one. Greg Peralta makes Gareth Southgate look like Pep Guardiola. I've seen other people say that. It is kind of funny. If you had any half-decent manager, you would have beat us as well. In that 0-0 game. One of the worst games of the whole tournament. If you had any half-decent manager, you'd have beat us. It was so embarrassing. So yeah. Guys, you can click the link, by the way, from Botrix and join my Discord. I do have a community that I try and talk to every day. I say the words try. When I try and watch Aston Villa, I post links of the game, or just any game. I can post a link online so people can watch alongside with me. Imagine Callum Wilson finishing top 5 Champions League goals. Football's gone mad. Football has gone crazy. Alcaraz looked like he was fouled there. Edge of the box for Southampton. Patterson cleared a deflected shot away. Alcaraz still down, by the way. Between him, Edozie, and Teller, Southampton do have a very nice on the eye, like easy on the eye looking squad. They play nice fluid football. You can definitely tell there's a lot of talent in this Southampton squad, but they're not the tallest. I will say that they don't. You gotta be vigorous, and you've got to do the dirty stuff. And I look at that Southampton team, and it's a little bit dainty for me. Like, even Jan Bednarek is not the biggest of centre backs, you know. At least at Aston Villa, maybe I'm comparing him to Tyrone Mings, and maybe Mings that makes anyone look a bit smaller, but I don't know. He never stood out, I'll say that. In your fantasy team, you pick Callum Wilson. I'm guessing he's quite expensive now, because he does score a lot of goals. His injury record isn't amazing, but he does score a lot of goals. Guys, any like on the video would be appreciated, and if you are new, just hit that subscribe button. You know, help promote this channel to other people. I'm trying to do like a few more games this year, so any extra support will be very much appreciated. Thank you. Jamza says, would you say Villa still need anyone in this window? I think another good striker for competition for Watkins would be good for you. I agree with that. I don't know what's happening with Duran. We bought him in January. He's not really featured in any of the friendlies, so I don't really know what's going on there. Cameron Archer went on loan to Middlesbrough and then Preston the year before. He seems to be like the backup right now to Ollie Watkins, but that's 2. So I think an extra one wouldn't be terrible, to say the very least. You could look in the Championship. You could look abroad. It's a shame that we've already spent like 50 million on Diaby and then 30 on Pau Torres. I don't think much is left now for the good old transfer pot. So we'd have to look a little bit on the cheaper side now for players. Because like, even if you want to go for like Brennan Johnson from Forest, they rejected a stupid amount. So the transfer market is just wild. Ever since COVID, it's just blown to pieces. I'm just hoping we could get someone, maybe. Funny enough, an older striker on a shorter contract like Danny Ings would do us good. It would. I'd take even someone on loan. Lukaku on loan, who knows? No, we wouldn't pay his wages. That would be very funny, though. I've seen funnier things. I personally want a new right back. I know Konsa and Cash have played there. I just don't think either's really good enough. If we're going to be really critical. I tell you what, actually, like Rico Henry. I don't think we'd pry him away from Brentford, but Digne apparently is linked to a move to Al Hilal, so that could free up some space. Interesting to see what Brentford would say. I'm guessing they'd want a lot of money for Henry. But I've watched him a lot. He's played as a wing-back before. He likes attacking. I think he could match Moreno. He'd suit the high line. I'd like that, personally. Anyone still remembers David Goodwillie? He used to play for Blackburn Rovers, did he not? There's my ball knowledge right there. Really high hopes for Kessler Hayden. He was one of the first to go out on loan again, wasn't he? I'm hoping he gets his chance. Personally, I think Finn Azaz should have been given a chance in the friendlies. He's gone on loan to Plymouth. I remember I used to watch Pieface quite a lot, and Pieface is an avid Plymouth Argyle fan, and he couldn't speak any higher of Finn Azaz. Scored a lot of goals from midfield, massively contributed to their promotion. I think it's really harsh. He's not even been given a half a chance at Villa. I don't know. Could be a bit early for him yet, because he did just play in League One. But it would have been nice, maybe just a game or two, and I don't know, just to see what was going on. David Goodwillie wasn't too shabby in FM years gone by. Remember, I can't remember the Scottish team he was on. Don't think it's Celtic or Rangers. Wasn't it St Johnstone? I could be wrong. That's where the ball knowledge might waver. But I'm thinking St Johnstone. Oh, is it Dundee? Oh, never mind. I'll have a look. Yeah, I knew he played for Blackburn, but I didn't know what side in Scotland. What a name! What a name! Dundee United, Wraith Rovers, Blackburn, Crystal Palace on loan, Blackpool on loan, Aberdeen, Ross County, Plymouth. I didn't know he played for Plymouth. Clyde for 5 years, Wraith Rovers, Clyde on loan, Livingston as a trialist, and is now. Is he still at Radcliffe or did he just leave Radcliffe? Well, they've not even put it on his Wikipedia, so never mind. So he's actually been around a little bit in Scotland. Would you take Orban? He plays in Belgium at the moment, scored 21 goals in 20 games, and did the same at all his other clubs. He's a goal machine. I'm going to be very honest. I've never seen him play. A lot of people will chat shit and be like, "Oh yeah, I know him. I've seen him. I've seen a few games." I'm just blatantly honest. I've never seen him. The stats look good, but you know, football isn't done on paper, so it is easy to look good on stats sometimes. Probably a player I should look out for, but yeah, I don't know. Still having Wesley nightmares. Jams are no strikers from Belgium. You guys see Wesley's gone to Stoke. Presumably a free transfer. In the end, quite a sad tale for Aston Villa. 24 million from Club Brugge. Scored 5 goals. Tore his ACL against Burnley. And never really featured again. Played in a friendly actually against Stoke, if you guys remember, and got a red card. So yeah, not the best Aston Villa career. Started to perform a little bit before his injury, and I think that's the saddest part. He did really well in that Burnley game. I remember very vividly. He was very good. Even scored in the game. And we started to think maybe we're getting the best out of Wesley. And then Ben Mee absolutely rips into him. Yeah, I'm still pissed about Ben Mee. But yeah, I hope he does well. I hope he does well at Stoke. I'd take Tyler Adams. They'd want a lot. I think, was it 30, 40 mil? I swear. Like, Tyler Adams is wanted for a lot of money. I'd take him. He's too good for the Championship. Don't know where he'd fit in the Villa team though, because we already have a lot of midfielders. I think Tyler, I'd have him at Villa, but realistically, he'd be better off playing where you guaranteed to get game time. I don't think game time is guaranteed at Aston Villa, which is a nice thing to say because we have a lot of nice players. I'd rather look in another position, personally. Geordie here, my favourite player that played for Tottenham Villa is Peter With. Massive Villa legend because of the European Cup winning goal. But yeah, Peter With is well respected and well loved by a lot of clubs. Went for a lot for back in the 80s. Went for a lot of money. Well, what was considered a lot of money back then. Very good player. Very good player. Forever cemented himself in Villa's history. And he always talks very fondly of Aston Villa as well. So yeah, proper player. Not just him. There's been a few players over the years who've played both for Newcastle and Aston Villa. And one of them, I'm sure you guys might be surprised about, maybe not, is David Ginola. He also played for both clubs. Obviously, he played for Newcastle a lot more than Villa, but it's a nice little fact for you there. Adams to West Ham. Wolves I mean, West Ham could afford it, so I think that's probably one of the most realistic options. Spurs. Look, if this is not even me taking the piss out of Spurs, right? I wouldn't want to touch Spurs. If I'm Tyler Adams, I would not want to touch Tottenham. You might as well play for West Ham. You know, they're in Europe. It's not even massively controversial to say West Ham is a slightly better deal than Tottenham right now, because you play in the Europa League. Yeah, you get to play in the Europa League, and you also get, you guarantee game time. West Ham, they're not an awful side. I don't think they're gonna go down. I don't know. That's my take. I think Tottenham, especially if Kane leaves, they're gonna be under like a transitional period. So yeah, I've had a lot of controversial takes today. I wouldn't go near Wolves, by the way. Wolves are a bit of a mess right now. Lovely run down the left, cross comes in. Terrible takedown. It's Walker Peters, sorry. Might go for goal. He does. So it's just past Dawson's post. And it will be a goal kick to Sheffield Wednesday. Again, it's another really good run from Adozie. The stat lovers will love him. Cross into Teller wasn't great. Teller laid it off to Walker Peters. It was those two who combined for the first goal for Southampton, and they nearly combined for another. I was watching a Spurs fans vid, and he said Spurs cancelled their press conference today because there was no media interest. Yeah, no one cares. Bro, no one cares. It's mad, isn't it? It's very funny. That it's so Spurs, isn't it? It's such a Spursy thing. It's not looking good, Brev. I might be watching the game next Sunday on a minute delay. Oh dear. Are you going to watch it on Sky Go in the car, I'm guessing? I know a couple Spurs content creators, and they're all kind of negative right now. There's not many optimistic Spurs fans. Mr. Black Football is probably the most like well known out of all of them, and obviously a lot of his content on TikTok is for like humor or whatever. But Spurs are still need to sign a centre back, and they still haven't. Daniel Levy is a menace, is what I will say. I have to watch it on iPhone. Oh dear. Oh, Sheffield Wednesday on the break here. Oh, lovely tackle that is. Was that Jan Bednarek? Gee, what a tackle. That was lovely. Had to win that. Lee Gregory was a sub that was made, and I think it was the guy who came on for him. Anthony Masaba it was. Lightning pace down the right-hand side, and if it wasn't for the strong tackle of Bednarek, that was a big chance for Sheffield Wednesday. Here's Adozie again, going backwards. Southampton again with this slow build-up. Adozie tries to skip inside. He's finally tackled. Not many times he's been dispossessed today. Is Patterson for Sheffield Wednesday against Adozie, and this time he's fouled by the winger. I think the first time he's got his revenge. I watched the Chelsea Dortmund game on the website. I was only 20 seconds delayed. Sky Go needs to get... Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They can do better. It's just they don't want to. They can be a lot more efficient, but they won't because it doesn't pay to be. They're not forced to. Well, they kind of are because Amazon are very good, aren't they? People forget this, but Amazon have a few games a season. All their games are obviously online. And they have one of the best latencies of any team. Of any what do you call it? Any platform. Surely, like, that forces Sky and BT or whatever to provide faster content, right? I would love it if Jeff Bezos bought all the rights to the Premier League. Having it on Prime would be so nice. I'd even pay, say like Amazon Prime offered all the Premier League games for like 30 quid. Easy. I would snap your hand. They might as well invest, Are the three that got promoted favourites for the drop? Yeah, probably. Oh, Adozie in the box. Southampton pulls it back. Ward-Prowse's shot is deflected. Really good piece of defending. I think that was either Bakinson or Iorfa throwing himself in the way of the shot. Nice build-up again down Adozie's side for Southampton. Sky Sports actually scouts. Don't even. We get... For living in the UK, we get treated like utter shit. It's in our country. Like, these games are happening, just a couple hours away at most. And we get the worst deals. People in, like, California, Toronto, thousands of miles away, have this game for a lot cheaper. And all the Premier League games. All of them. What a piss take. The scam is genuine. Ward-Prowse, lovely layoff. Might be a chance here. Oh, nice idea trying to find Adozie. He does win it back temporarily before the ball was given away. Jack Stevens, the centre-back, getting involved quite high up there for Southampton. Combining with, I think it was Smallbone and Armstrong. Who is... Your first game? Oh, we play Newcastle away, which is a horrible start. Our record away at Newcastle is bad enough. To then, they're obviously high flying with signings like Tonali, they're in the Champions League. Feel good factor back at Newcastle for the first time in like 20 years. I mean, you could say they've had this atmosphere for a few years now, but it's properly set in. Now they got the top four. If you have Sky Sports and have it for the football, then it's a scam. Yeah, I might as well just watch more Formula 1, whatever. Get my value. Just buy more Sky packages. People are crying on F1 Twitter about how much Sky Sports is and they don't even want to fund football. Almost beat Piscastle. Summer Series can do it in the league. You never know. Shot comes in from distance, just over the bar. And that was from the substitute, the other Armstrong, Stuart Armstrong. Going for goal, not too far away. What did Jamza say? Not as tough as Liverpool. I mean, I would arguably rather Liverpool at home than Newcastle away. Because Liverpool weren't the best on the road last year, and Newcastle at their ground, we struggle there anyway, but they're a good side at home. So yeah, I don't mind F1. A lot of my friends are into F1, not just like my friends in person, but even like my online friends all watch F1. So you kind of get spoon-fed it. It's not bad. I'm just put off a little bit by F1 because of how good Max Verstappen is, and like Red Bull are ridiculous. I think Max has won every race bar 2, and the only 2 he hasn't won was won by his teammate Perez. Like, it's not exactly very competitive. The fall off of Mercedes is quite sad. I know people will say the same thing when Hamilton used to win it all the time, and I get that. But I just want it to be competitive, man. Yeah, 8 in a row. Red Bull they've won every game, no? They've won every race, I should say. I got football terminology on my mind. You got good races in there, you know, like Leclerc's good, but Max is on another level. And the fact that the cars are not the same, which I've never agreed with, but you know. There's F1 fanatics who've been watching it for years tell me otherwise and say it's completely fine. But I've always thought if all the cars were the same, it'd be more about skill, but it will never happen. So there's no point in me saying it. F1 is a cooler NASCAR. They're still both meh. It's all right. Yeah, it is a cooler NASCAR. It's okay. I just wished it was more competitive, you know. If it was closer, I think more people would watch it. I know F1 is big, but I think it'd get even bigger if it was entertaining and closer. But, you know, Red Bull suffering from success almost. Red Bull would have won 21 races in a row if George Russell didn't win last season. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Controversial take. I don't think Russell is worse than Lewis Hamilton. West Ham are signing a player. Oh, I'll go on. I say Twitter. It's now X, which is another like discussion altogether. I can't believe they decided to rename the website. I'll have a look online. Let's have a look. 10 years. I'll screenshot this and wait. Wait. Everyone's calling NASCAR. Weird watching grey men go in twisted circles in funny suits. Said, oh, Newcastle win everything in 10 years' time. Enjoy your little victories. I mean, they probably will be up there. But even City, it took them a very long time to win a Champions League. And City are one of the best teams. Like in terms of squad, one of the best teams ever. And even them, it took them from, 2008 to 2023 to finally win a Champions League. Armstrong goes for goal at the near post. He's been very good, by the way, this Stuart Armstrong, since coming on. Combining down the left with a dozy again. Cuts inside. It's just a simple side-footed shot there in the end. Personal terms, agreed with Alvarez. Edson Alvarez. Not bad. Not bad. Is he that holding midfielder from Ajax? I could be wrong. I think so. Yeah, Souček and Alvarez. Oh my god, that's actually crazy. Souček, Alvarez, as a pivot is actually mad if you think about it. That's actually mad. Fair play to West Ham. If they get him over the line, good signing. I will question Ajax a little bit though. They can't just keep being a feeder club for Premier League sides. Like, they've let go of so many players in the space of a few years. It is a joke. Timber's gone to Arsenal last year. Anthony went. Who else also went? Martinez, of course, centre back. I know they've let go of more players than that as well, but they can't just keep being a feeder club. It's ridiculous. If I look at Ajax transfers, they let go of Calvin, Timber, Tadic. Even Dusan Tadic has gone to Fenerbahce, which I find really weird. Any other significant? I don't know if there's any more other from this season. No. But still, I mean, Timber was arguably their best defender. PIF 500 billion, City 25 billion. BN? I said billion, but I don't know if BN. As my brain's gone into meltdown. What is PIF? I'm being very dumb here. Man, that PIF isn't going to allow sooner or later. UEFA will get you sooner or later. I hope so, but it doesn't seem that way sometimes. All these weird hidden loopholes for obscure teams. Oh, Saudi Public Investment Fund. Yeah. That's another. I could rant about that like till tomorrow, to be honest. It's ridiculous, but you can't do anything about it, really. I feel. But was it Newcastle? The owners of Newcastle, I think they own a small part of Chelsea, and obviously Chelsea have interest in Saudi Arabia as well. The Qataris own PSG. There's obviously been interest to buy Man United. It's all tied together. It's all tied together in Asia. I wonder what teams like Ajax and Benfica do with all the money they make, because they always wait. Oh yeah, you'd imagine they'd invest it, but I don't know. It just seems to just vanish. Capitalism, like it or lump it, unfortunately. Yeah. There's a lot of yellow cards, by the way. Also, if you've seen, this was a tweet that was made a few days ago, that the EFL and the Premier League are clamping down on time wasting, and heavy added time will be given, like we saw in the World Cup. So I'm guessing that will feature again today. It's a good thing, because, you know, you end up playing like half a game with the ball being out of play. So it might stop some kind of time wasting, but we'll see. A team that never won anything thinks they're bigger than Villa. Up the Villa. I don't like capitalism, and I'm American. Capitalism, I mean, I'm not going to get in a political debate, but it does usually only benefit like the top 2%. And obviously countries and whatever. It's less about the people and more about profit. But that's how it is. There's going to be loads of 90... Oh, there will be. But content. There's a lot of content there, you know? 5 minutes to go then at Hillsborough. It's still Southampton 1. Sheffield Wednesday 1. Since the equaliser, Southampton's dominance has wavered a little bit. I think they were hit with like a bit of shell shock almost when the equaliser came in by Lee Gregory. Sheffield Wednesday if I was a manager, I'd give him the bollocking at full time and say, look, for the large majority of this game, you lot were shite. Sheffield Wednesday have apparently took out a loan for Reece. There's a Reece James who's just come on. Sheffield Wednesday, which I find very funny. He's I can't believe that. There's another Reece James about. Strasbourg can win League One next season. Change your mind. Their team's actually mental. Yeah, I'm not anyone up north. I'm the more north you go in the country, usually the more socialist or Labour leaning you'll see, and the further south you go, you'll see the opposite. If you look who Benfica have sold over the past 8 years. Oh, it's a goal for Southampton. I was reading my chat, but Che Adams, who's just come on, has scored. With only 4 minutes to go here, he puts his hand to his ear. I'm sure a lot of people have given criticism over the years for his lack of goals in the Premier League and at the, his expectations, basically. I'm sure that was to silence the haters. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Southampton 2. And again, it just starts with the run from the left winger, Edozie. The ball from Walker-Peters. He fakes one way, sends a through ball into Ward-Prowse, who squares the ball into Che Adams. And it's a really crisp finish. Very similar to Lee Gregory's, except this was a square ball rather than a rebound. Goalkeeper Dawson couldn't even move. Really nice finish. I think Adams, how long was he on the pitch for? Oh, he came on the 80th, so he's been on for 6 minutes and he scored. I've not really seen much of him, to be quite honest. But that is a way to open your account in the Championship. Wednesday 1, Southampton 2, and it's no less than what they've deserved. I was going to end the live stream at the end of this game if it was level and say, this is what the Championship can do. Sometimes you can play well away from home and not win. You just got to use this as, a bit of learning, I guess, and go on from there and you'll win games. But the fact they've actually dug in deep and potentially got a winner hit. Whiff says, this Sheffield Wednesday relegation, I'll be there. Look, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I think Sheffield Wednesday have been utter shite in this game. I'm not moved by what I've seen from Wednesday. They've had one chance and they took it, but they've been second best for the full 90 minutes. The game plan is hit and hope. They've got tall players in there, so they win a lot of, I guess, headers, and they scored from a set piece that was flicked on to Lee Gregory. That's it. I'm not moved by this Wednesday side at all. Barry Bannon, for the money he's on, has been very quiet. The goal, ironically, Southampton scored when you'd least expect it. Edozie's coming off. I'm going to applaud that. Edozie's my man of the match today. He's going to get a lot of media attention for that game. He has been all over Sheffield Wednesday. Easily man of the match. Single-handedly almost ripping down Wednesday on the side. Like, Patterson has had a nightmare. He's going to wake up in sweat about Edozie running past him. Maybe it's either Edozie was too good or Patterson was so bad it made Edozie look good. It's one of the two. My guy, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed with what I've seen. Anyway, Wisp acting like everyone, and then Nan didn't think Southampton were winning. Winnie Win said, "Are Saints getting promoted this season?" I hope not. We've got 46 games to go. Technically 45 after this, but it's been a very strong start for Southampton. Not only they're looking like they're going to win the game, but they've played very well. Bannon goes for goal, and that sums up Bannon's performance, really. It did take a deflection, I think, and Sheffield Wednesday get a corner, but never looked like he was going to score. Jams said, did Villa look to against Lazio? Didn't see any of the game. Oh, we did look very good. It wasn't the strongest of Lazio sides, but Ciro Immobile and Anderson played, so make of that what you will. I thought we were very good. We missed another penalty, though, which is a bit worrying, because ever since El Ghazi left, we've struggled to have a competent penalty taker. But we battered them from minute one. Diaby, unfortunately, couldn't make it 3-3 for him. But Watkins, despite missing a penalty, kept composed, scored a lovely goal to make it 1-0. Second goal was John McGinn, who's been revitalised under Unai Emery since he's come in. Wonder of a left boot shot into the corner, and then the third goal was an own goal. But I think it didn't. The scoreline didn't flatter us at all. I thought we were very good, and with one friendly to go, it's looking exciting for Villa. Wisp says Bannon is so washed. Well, I think his age is showing a little bit. I will say that. I feel so old seeing Barry Bannon on a team sheet. Bannon's got to have grandkids. He's been around since O'Neill. I mean, I remember being a 12, 13-year-old at Villa Park watching Barry Bannon play football. So, yeah. He's not aged very well. He's gone bald. Or at least he's virtually bald. He's Smallbone. Armstrong. Stuart Armstrong, by the way, I'm going to say it again. He's had a very good spell off the bench. He's been involved very heavily for Southampton going forward today, since he's come on. I would expect him to start for Southampton in the next game. 9 minutes of added time, by the way. We're already seeing the ridiculous time added on. It's already upon us. 9 minutes. There's never 9 minutes of added time in a game like this. You'd only usually see that in previous years gone by for like a very heavy injury where they've needed to get, players like stretchered off. So yeah. O'Leary, my God, you are going back a few years. Harrison says, tears in my eyes, the game for Ukraine is just going to be Zinchenko crying the entire time. Oh, man. Winnie Win says, my age is showing a lot. Don't worry. I'm 23. I feel old as shit. How was Smallbone? I swear he put in a class performance against Villa. He's been all right. I think the biggest criticism I'd say is that there have been so many good performances across the pitch for Southampton. He's kind of been in the background, but you could argue and say that's because Southampton have been so good today. It's hard for him to stand out. The clear standout for me is a Dozy on the left wing with Ward-Prowse in the middle. He's just been like a playmaking defensive midfielder. He's been everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Armstrong's link off the bench has been very good. Walker Peters, big shout out to him. Very modern fullback. He's very high up, almost like a second winger on the right hand side. I think he's combined very well. Got the assist for the first goal. But Edozie, man of the match by a mile. It's not even a debate. Edozie has just ripped Wednesday a new one the whole game. Man United and Arsenal disappointing pre-season, in my opinion. It's not been amazing, but I'd say don't look too much into pre-season. It is mainly about fitness. The levels, they're not really raised to their highest extent in pre-season. You kind of get a glimpse of what you're going to see, but, there's no stakes on the line. No one really cares if you lose. Whereas in the Premier League or in the Champions League, whatever, they're going to be putting in better performances than that. But who knows? Limbs when Piscastle concede an injury time every game next season. Eric says, all right, I got to get back to work. Thanks for watching. AJ, we got everyone in the chat. Thanks for your support, Eric. I do appreciate you being here for this EFL watch along. It's been very nice. I've enjoyed this. We've got 5 minutes to go. 4 minutes to go until the end of this game. It's been a very enjoyable watch. Southampton have not really looked like a championship side. I think that's probably the biggest compliment I can give them. We were actually so good in pre-season, it's scary. I think Jackson is probably the biggest headline of all of pre-season in the Premier League. I can't think of a bigger headline than that. Out of nowhere, he's just shone. It would be very Chelsea. It'd be a very Chelsea thing to do, by the way, to just not play him in the Premier League. I'm just gonna say that. It'd be a very Chelsea thing to just bring him on for 5 minutes at the end of the Liverpool game. He should play, definitely, especially in your situation, but who knows? Who knows? Did you watch this to scout for Villa? Yes, of course. And I need to report to the Villa scouting team. I would say that Edozie, if I was anything related to Aston Villa in terms of like the scouting team or the coaching side or whatever, I would say keep tabs on Edozie, because something special about this lad, I think. Last time we won all our preseason games was 2011. Then we won the UCL season after. You did draw to Newcastle, no? Oh, you're saying the last time we've done it. I thought you were saying you'd done it again. I remember you... oh, no, was it Newcastle or Brighton? Or both? I remember Cucurella... No, you beat Brighton. Was it Newcastle when Cucurella made that horrible mistake? Where he just didn't read the flight of the ball. Oh, unbeaten. Yeah. So far, Villa are as well. Unless we lose to Valencia, we'll end pre-season unbeaten as well. Although I think we did that with Gerrard, and then we lost to Bournemouth on the opening day. So, yeah, we'll see. Guys, I haven't said this too much, so I'm going to just plug it here. If you can like the video, it'd be very much appreciative. And if you could subscribe to the channel if you're new, that will be amazing. I'm trying to cover more games this season. It would be nice. And I will probably stick to the Premier League. The only reason I've been doing this game is because it's like the start, I guess, of the season. I doubt I'm going to be doing many more Championship games. I might do a playoff game, potentially. Or if there's like a big game, who knows. But I'm very much interested in just the Premier League. We will see though. 2 minutes to go. Southampton still lead 2-1. Very professional from them. I think their set pieces, they may need to look at that a little bit. Like I said, they're not the tallest side, Southampton. And that could be a problem for them. Because you got to play dirty in the Championship. You got to do the dirty stuff. It's a rough and ready league. You can play nice football, but, you know, can you do that on a rainy night in Stoke? The good old saying. You're going to have to go to Stoke at some point. They'll kick you to pieces. Is Walker Peters ball out wide here? They could get a cross in with only a minute to go. Walker Peters with a 1-2. They've changed. What winger came on? It was... it was Joe Aribo who came on. I should have known. I didn't recognise. His hairline's a bit dodgy. I didn't recognise it. He's Armstrong for Southampton. Down the left-hand side, Teller, who started this game very brightly, kind of faded a little bit after his goal, but I'm sure he'll be forgiven by the Saints fans. Walker Peters, they're switching from left to right. 30 seconds to go. They're probably just going to keep the ball now until the final whistle. Walker Peters into Smallbone. There is no intent really to get this ball into the box. I'm surprised they're not holding it in the corner, to be honest. Keeping the ball so well. Walker Peters' pass is intercepted, but Sheffield Wednesday have 10 seconds to hove this ball. And I've had a notification to say it's full time. I think it's finished 2-1. It has. Southampton have won their first game back in the EFL. Very professional game from them from start to finish. The only criticism I'd say is they struggled with the set piece that they conceded from. But Sheffield Wednesday had one chance and took it, but Southampton dominated. Very professional from them. They play anything like that for the rest of the season, they'll get promoted, and it'll be that simple. I appreciate you all being here. I will be live for tomorrow's Aston Villa versus Valencia game, so feel free to join me on that. I'm just going to double check the kickoff time. I think it's either 7 or 8 o'clock. Bear with. I think I did I scheduled a stream for it. Oh, is it a 9 o'clock game? It might be a very late one. Hang on. Very professional, as we all know on this channel. I have to scroll all the way down to find friendlies. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff between Valencia and Aston Villa. Be sure to to be here for the final preseason game. Thank you all for the support. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace out. I'll say it up the